Hey everybody, we're looking at Mark Price, American pipe maker. Mike Thomas is hanging out. Mike Thomas is throwing us all these pipes going here. This one. Might as well start off with this one. This was the collaboration between Mark and Matt. And I'm gonna guess that Matt blasted it.
Yes.
Matt blasted it. And you did this line. This dropping out. Yeah. Interesting piece. Mike, why did you buy it?
Oh, the story behind it.
This is Mike Thomas, everybody.
How you doing?
Yeah.
The story behind it, I always wanted one of Mark's pipes, and I had several of Matt's pipes, and as soon as I saw it, I knew I had to have it.
There's a lot of collectors like that like Matt, they like you, and have them too. Beautiful, beautiful pipe.
Thank you.
All right, let's get into Mark's case. Let's start off with this guy. I like this guy a lot. I called it a mini bull moose. What do you call it?
I'm just calling it an author, but it's really not exactly an author.
Because of the slightly thicker volume going on there?
It's kind of upslipped on the bottom and front some, which I like to do. And
There's less volume on the top half of the rim than on the bottom. And you're right, you like to do that often. You like to throw up the top of the bowl rim to kind of give it what? Upward movement?
yeah, just so it's not a
Basic curve.
just a round shape. I want it to
Pop
look
up
a little more natural instead of just a sphere.
Yeah, a little more natural instead of just a sphere. It's funny how changing design means making it look more natural. You know, isn't that just kind of funny? Yeah, so the entire rim here has that. The entire rim. Like we talked about before, you're so good at balancing pipe proportion. Look at the thin top rim, this whole section. Very, very thin. The smallest part of the pipe, technically. But look how fat it goes out here, but it works. Your transition from this small, and what is it? It's almost like a quarter of the rim. A quarter of the small area, that's it. And then it just transitioned into this big old beautiful stuff so well. Why can't other people do that so well?
I don't
Or
know.
why can you do it so well? What do you see there? Because you obviously feel and sense the subtle details needed in that area.
I don't know. I don't have an explanation for what. It's just the way my mind works when I'm holding a shape in my hand working on it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
This guy sold yet?
No.
Mark Price. Someone wrote Mark Price. Someone wrote something.
Are there any questions for Mark that you guys want to ask? Anybody want to ask Mark any questions? This is a unique pipe, which we were looking at. So this is the Eltang Arne Jacobsen.
Yeah, it's kind of my own twist on. I love Eltang's, and
this is your first time taking a stab at this shit.
yeah. So it's hopefully it elicits that, like, oh, it's kind of similar to an Eltang.
It does that and more. And for this being your first attempt and just the results, Mark Price has so much wisdom in the design department, the table shaking. This is every time I say that he can take this Arne Jacobsen shape, which I don't know if you guys know what I'm talking about. Maybe I'll post a picture, but Mark's variation is he just takes that shape and turns it into a whole. You have this subtle modern American aesthetic, Mark. Let's try to describe it because I've never gone so deep.
Someone wants to see the reddish sandblast in the box.
The reddish sandblast in the box? Yeah, go ahead, show them. It's just impressive how Mark has such a strong style that he can jump into this Arne Jacobsen and create a whole beauty. This is just, that actually looks like it could have been a collaboration between you and yourself.
No, this one's all me. I don't do a lot of this large style blowfish, but I'm always kind of drawn to them when I see them.
You got that really gentle teardrop line.
I think that's what makes or breaks these is how that line, not because it's difficult to not hit the bowl with take that line and hit the bowl and then get kind of wonky there. So that is, and I don't like them real deep. I like it pretty shallow and subtle.
Subtle is always better. That's what you're really good at, to make the loud noise, but in a subtle way.
Well, thank you.
I don't know where that understanding comes from, but that's what we were just trying to describe. But that's what creates elegance, when you can do something beautiful quietly, without screaming loud.
Well, I appreciate that. That's I don't like to necessarily usually do stuff like this. That's kind of out there. It's not. I like for what sets my pipes apart to be little subtle. That's what I'm going for anyway. I don't know that I always achieve it, but that's what I'm going for.
Segue to this,
yeah,
which is, like you said earlier,
this pipe is the first time I have ever picked up a block of briar with zero preconceived notions of what it was gonna be when it was done, and just started shaping and made every decision in real time on what this pipe was gonna be.
So it's like a constant thing of, does this look good?
This one is 650.
So we can write people back and forth as they ask us.
Okay. Excellent.
Yeah, there's
Well,
over 100 people.
everybody's talking about the stem. I like the casing. Do you know what the origin of that material is?
No, I know it is a milk protein based plastic. I mean, it's a natural. It's not plastic. But it's milk protein that's formed and hardened. And I was actually looking for kind of an ivory substitute, and there's several options out there. And I stumbled across some pins made out of casein, and I thought that's a nice product. It's great to work with. It shines up really nice. That's double split stem is kind of a pain to do.
I heard that it took you a long time.
It's time consuming for sure.
This guy's gorgeous. Simple, but what do we got here in the back?
It's Bakelite.
Bakelite. How did you come up with such a hard contrast? Okay, actually, let's talk about the shape first. You got a pretty forward-canted, but pushed back on the back here. What's going on there?
Really, on this one, what I was shooting for was I wanted to get the nice deep transition right there. I don't always get that on my tomatoes, and so as I shaped the bowl, working towards making sure I got that, then the stem, or the shank, excuse me, started to kind of take shape. And and at that point I could tell I was fairly certain I was going to be able to get a tan blast out of the block. And so when I've done the tan blast with the green Bakelite before, and was pleased with it.
Which material is the accent green? Someone's asking.
The
Brass?
the green. Oh, the brass. Yes, I've got a brass. And then it's just the wood, the briar, showing inside the brass.
So nice, Mark. Look, any little shape, those subtle changes, the little compression, and even this slightly sideways compression, any slight little shift, and that's the beginning of your language. This is how you're slowly developing. There's no way to get there other than by trying,
Just
right?
doing it.
Somebody's
I think
got
so.
it. That's how you gotta find your. But like you said, focus on one at a time, not too many.
Yeah. Absolutely.
There's the green and then there's the silver gold.
What material is that green?
It's Bakelite.
Oh, okay.
This is a really nice opera pipe. Mark's never made one of these before, and just thought one day I might as well make one.
Yeah, I don't know what got into my head to decide to do an opera pipe, but I went out one night and thought that's what I'm going to do with this block. And
Beautiful little piece. Beautiful little small pipe.
Right?
This guy's kind of funky.
That's a little more different for me than I've never done a reverse calabash, and
100% planned for everything here, right?
yeah. Let me take this. Didn't sticking today for some reason.
This is your first reverse calabash.
First reverse calabash. I don't know why I put the briar inside. I just that actually I had a dowel I had turned out of briar for something else and didn't use it.
Yeah.
And as I started to make the stem, I thought, well, I'll throw that briar inside there.
It looks
Might
nice.
as well.
And that shape, it's got like this, I don't know, stubby.
Yeah, it's kind of a sphinx shape in my mind, but I wanted to make it just as tight and squashed together as I could get it. And
Yeah. All right, last two real quickie. All right, this guy's beautiful. We got a lot going on here. This is your changing up. We got, would you call Japanese?
I think so.
The design here, and you have changed it up by, look at this. You have sliced, the usual symmetrical line gets sliced into two big areas, and you pushed over the entire bowl, causing that, and this is the continuation of all that push on the back side, right?
Yeah.
Can you talk to us a little bit about anything else on this guy?
Yeah, that pipe. I've done that shape or a version of that shape before, and really the thought behind it was to take basically a Blowfish bowl, and because of the grain on a couple of blocks I've had, this one and the last one I did, I thought I could make a Blowfish still out of that, but turn the bowl at that odd angle just to do something different and experiment with it. The first one I wasn't as pleased with, and I feel like it's a shape that I'm still in the process of developing, but I'm much more pleased with this one than.
What I appreciate when you say, I'm just going to turn the bowl and see what happens, and what I appreciate is that you take into account, if I got to turn the bowl up here, what else happens all over the rest of the pipe? Ergo, this area.
The first version of this pipe, the transition right here, was really tricky, and I mean it's tricky all the time, but trying to figure out how do I terminate these panels, these facets, how do I incorporate it into the rest of this bowl and make it all flow together nicely. And
that's the key part.
Trick.
Mr. Mrs. Pipe Maker out there. All right, my friend, and this last big guy. This is a what do we call this guy?
It's a Cavalier, functioning Cavalier. I would call it it's kind of an elephant's foot, and that was the thought behind it. And then I've done this one once before. This is obviously a bigger version. The other one was considerably smaller. I just wanted to do a Cavalier and have as much sweep and movement in it as I could get, and I wanted it to stand, and it's kind of where I landed.
The tension here kind of stays with it. There's not that much release as in our other one. Remember, we had like a whole lot of release. This one's it's like a bow that's being held back the whole time. Was it hard to make it stand and be
really?
balanced?
I haven't had too much trouble either time, and because I know all of the weight. There's weight right here. There's weight on the bowl and up there, and as long as I keep that centered, the stem, the mouthpiece part of the stem does not really add much weight to it. But when you look at it, it looks like it should fall over, and that's kind of what I want.
But it's very steady because you balance it very well.
Well, I'm on the bounciest part of this tent right here, the floor, so it's bouncing. But
And look at the stem work, guys. You see these panels? Again, just subtle accents. Even the thickness selection of the panels pertains to the bulkiness of the pipe that you're expressing. Beautiful. If you took a picture of this pipe before it was blasted, I'm sure it had very beautiful facet lines, much more visible. Gorgeous stuff. Very different from last year, Mark. And the level of exploration you did this year, I'm guessing that next year it's going to be like 50% pure classical and 50% pure exploration.
Well, thank you.
Look at this billiard you did. Is the billiard sold?
No. How are you?
Gorgeous stuff. Gorgeous stuff from Mark Price.
Thanks, man.
Thank you.
Enjoyed it.